Andrew Jones, you are first.
They coached Miami hit only one of their last 10 field goals. It started after they took the 9-point lead. Looked like your team really picked up the energy there. Was that the difference, the energy translating to defensive stops?
You know, Andrew, it was something because I think we were 9 down at the 12-minute timeout, and I said, let's win the next 4 minutes, even if we just win it by 1 point. And we got it to 53-50. I think I looked at the score tonight more than I ever have in all my life put together. But we got it to 53-50, and Andrew Platek missed a wide open three from the top. And then we give up 2 dunks in a row, and then all of a sudden at the 8-minute timeout, we had only gained 1 point. So I told him again, I said, okay, let's win this 4 minutes. And then I think we did win that 4 minutes, but we did get some stops down there on defense. They missed a couple of easy ones. They missed a free throw, I think 2 or maybe 2, but I think that helped us. But there were 3 big shots for us in the game. I think Leaky, when he goes to the free throw line, has a 2-shot foul, and I think we might have had the lead then. I didn't look at the clock at that time, but he missed both of them. And then he comes down the next time and makes a 3 from the corner. Caleb, who hadn't made a basket all night, and really was, I guess that's right, because he was 0 for 8 because he finished 1 for 9. Caleb makes that big 3 right in front of our bench, and then Andrew made the drive there at the end. Garrison made 2 big free throws, and I think so all of those things get in there, but we did get a couple of stops. We were trying to platoon a little bit at the end. We were having Kerwin in on offense and Andrew on the defensive end of the floor, and I think that helped us. Kerwin missed a shot right in front of our bench that I think was a little quicker than I would have wanted with the 2-point lead, but that helped us a little bit, and we got a turnover on the press when we finally got somebody to beat their guy to the ball, and it hit 33's hands and went out of bounds. But so I would probably agree and say, yeah, that our defense was something during that stretch that we did some good things, but yes, they missed some shots too.
Brendan Marks.
Hey, Roy, just between the end of the last game and obviously the way Leaky played tonight, what do you notice that's different about him? Maybe the way he's responded from not being in the starting lineup that one game. And is this the best that you've seen him play since he's been in Chapel Hill?
No, because to answer the second question first, this is not the best I've seen him play. Today, he shot the ball really well. I mean, look, what'd you say, Steve? Yeah, 4 for 4 from 3. So that was big, but at the same time, I always expect Leaky to be great defensively and be very intelligent. And his drive in there and the charge late in the game was not a very smart play, but he's been sensational at times defensively. This was this was the best game that he shot the ball in the hole from outside, to say the least. But he can be much better defensively, and he can make better decisions with the ball. And at one point, I started to go with him at the point guard spot because Caleb and RJ, looking at them now, they're 2 for 14. Those guys are going to be really good basketball players. They've got to decide to do it before I die, and hopefully this year. But they're going to be really good basketball players, and they've just got to start making better decisions with their turnovers and at the same time make some more shots.
Thank you.
CL Brown.
You always. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
He can't hear us.
The lesson in a win. So I was wondering how can you hear me?
Yes, CL, just keep going.
Stop
Going out.
CL, we can't hear you. Text me your question and I'll get it asked. Thank you. Move on, Matt, to the next questioner.
Josh Graham.
You mentioned the struggles that Caleb had shooting it a little bit.
Considering,
yeah, with both him and RJ, what are some of the areas you've been keying in on to try and get them more acclimated to this level of play?
They've got to stop turning the ball over. That's the biggest thing. They can both be good defensive players, so they've got to stay in front of the basketball. I've always said if my point guards will stay in front of the ball and not turn it over, I can stick with them for anything. They're both shooting the ball terribly, and they're good shooters. But this is not kindergarten basketball. I can't say, oh, you're doing great. You know, you're shooting 28%. God, that's fantastic or anything. Sometimes you got to man up and start making shots, and that's what they have to do to get their entire game going because they focus so much on their shots going in. And I still say focus on things that I talk about as a point guard is stay in front of the ball, do the job defensively, and then don't turn it over. But guys, we lost, Clint, 4 games early on our schedule. Those games would have been really valuable to our kids. We have 6 freshmen in the top 10. Those games would have been really valuable. 1 was on the road at Monmouth, 3 was at home. We didn't have those, and all of a sudden we're playing in Maui, and we're playing at Iowa, and we're in the ACC, and they should be about 3 or 4 games into an ACC schedule, or I guess 5 or 6, instead of this being the 11th game. But the bottom line is, I trust them, I believe in them, I'm putting them in the game. Now they got to play better. That's pretty simple. You just got to play better.
And to follow real quickly, because of what you just said there at the end with how they've had to be pushed to the fire a little bit, have you been a little bit more patient with the freshmen with the way you've coached?
I think I've been the most patient I've ever been in my life. Now, the biggest question is, what do they think? But I think I've been the most patient I've ever been in my unbelievable life that I've had. But I've never been this patient. Guys, our 2 point guards, 2 for 14 with 7 turnovers. But you know what? North Carolina won the game. And Caleb made a big 3 at the end, and that was a big, big play. And let's build from that and go on.
Adam Smith.
Roy, after Wong made the teardrop to tie the game with like 15 seconds left, and you guys are coming back down the court for the eventual shot from Andrew, were you able to get off any instructions, or was that just a freelance situation for you guys? Were you able to tell them anything?
Guys, we practice that all the time. I mean, we had more time. If I set up a play, and you've heard this before, if I set up a play, I don't know if they're going to play zone, don't know if they're going to play man. Caleb was hurt. Leaky was the point guard. And I'm just screaming, let's go, let's go, let's go. But that's what we do. We've done that from Florida State here when Ty Lawson makes a game winner. We did it in the final 8 when Luke May did it. We do it every day in practice. We push it. If it's less than 6, we'll call a timeout. If it's more than 6, we go.
Any other questions for Coach?
Do we have CL?
CL, here it is.
CL, you want to try it again?
Yes, sir, Coach.
Okay, CL, hold it.
CL asked, Coach, what do you need to do to get Garrison out of his slump?
Garrison's just got to see the ball go in. And I do believe that those 2 free throws were big for him. He made 1 dunk, I think is all he made, but he was 4 for 6. I started in the second half. Again, I didn't start him in the Georgia Tech game. I didn't start Caleb. I didn't start Leaky, and those 3 guys played more minutes than anybody else on our team. And again, this is not bitty basketball. Sometimes you just got to figure it out and play better. And we're running almost the same things on offense that we did last year when he scored 488 points, and he's just got to get the feel back. And with Dayron in there, and Armando's been really good until the last 2 games. Armando, in fact, was probably our best player the first 8 or 9 games. In the last 2 games, he's really struggled. But Garrison's got to go back to being Garrison, and if he does that, then it's really going to help our team.
Coach, could you also talk about Dayron? He had 12 points, but he had 16 boards, 7 of them on the offensive glass.
Yeah, Dayron, from the first day of practice or this summer or whenever I talked to you guys the first time, I said that Dayron's as good a rebounder and will go down as the best rebounder I've had since Tyler Hansbrough. And I think that 12 points and 16 rebounds like that was fantastic for him. And needless to say, the last 2 games he hadn't been able to make a layup or anything close. But he's a much better shooter than 4 for 12 and 9 for 19 his last 2 games. But the young man can rebound the basketball and do some great things.
Thanks, Coach. All right, the players are here. We'll bring Leaky in first. Coach, I think your food's on.
Questions for Leaky, please.
Leaky, you're up, son. 9 rebounds too, Leaky. Here's Leaky. Go ahead, Matt.
CL, here's your second try, CL.
Leaky, what has changed for you?
Sorry, CL. Sorry, buddy.
Shooting 6% from the field the last 3 games, and
Just talk about your shooting. Your shooting's gotten better. Talk about that.
You asking how my shooting's gotten better?
Yeah.
I think it's just confidence. You know, I don't think we could play any worse than what we did in NC State game or, last year. So I feel like just gotta have confidence, North Carolina's gonna have a game and we need to score some points. So I felt like it was my night.
Andrew Jones.
Hey, Leaky. What changed for you guys defensively over the last 8 minutes? They hit one of their last 10 shots from the floor.
I think it's just attention to detail. I don't necessarily feel like anything changed. I think I told him after one timeout, it was like 3 minutes left. I think we were down by 4. I was just like, yo, we're playing the worst game we could possibly play right now, and we're only down by 4. I just get one stop at a time, and let's just see what happens. And everyone just bought in and came out victorious.
If I can ask a quick follow-up, did you sense maybe a little bit more energy, a little bit more communication during that stretch? Or
Yeah, I can say that. Yeah, more alert. Boxing out, we were finishing plays, boxing out, getting the rebound. So it's big.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Ross.
Hey, Leaky, you've been in the situation as being a freshman guard, freshman wing. I mean, what do you think some of the RJ and Caleb are kind of going through with this struggling at this point in the season? And how do you as a veteran work through that with them?
I just tell them we all go through it. They're not the only ones that's been through this. I'm sure if we look back, I'm sure the great point guards like Marcus Page, Joe Barry, whoever probably went through the same stumble. It's not going to be high school where you can just go out and play. You got to actually come in every day and work and be better than you were the day before. So that's what I try to feed them, and eventually they'll get it. The game will start to slow down and their confidence will be back.
Thanks, man.
Brendan.
Hey, Leaky. Yeah, obviously great to get a win, close win. But given the way you guys played for, the most of the first half, you mentioned we couldn't have played much worse against NC State or last season. How do wins like this make you feel, I guess? I know that may sound a little silly, but is it satisfying?
It's like, I don't want to say satisfying, but it's definitely a much better feeling than last year. He probably would have made that full court shot last year. So it's definitely it's a much better feeling, but then again, we got to play much better. If you compare our guys, it's just like we're loaded and we just have to play like it, So it's just, hopefully we get above that hill soon.
Is there any one thing you can pinpoint as to why they haven't been playing like the loaded team that there is?
No, I have no idea. I don't want to say chemistry, just because we're all, always together, So I'm not sure. Maybe a confidence thing, just getting out their own heads and just playing. They're good players. Once they get out their own head, it's pretty much simple from that point.
Thank you.
All right, last one, Adam, and then we'll get Andrew in here momentarily, I think.
Hey, Leaky, as you're coming down court there after Miami had tied it at the end, what did you see happening? What did you see developing? As you ended up getting it to Andrew, just can you take us through the play and just what you saw?
Oh yeah, I got it, and I just wanted to go right into fist because we practice that every single day, and that's what we're most comfortable for. I looked down in the post, pretty sure they were fronted. I tried to get to the other side to get it to him, and then Andrew's guy helped off of him, so I just kicked it to Andrew, and he made a huge play with the floater. So.
Did you think he was going to step out of bounds? It was tight down there.
It was very tight. I don't know. As soon as he drove it, I don't know. I'm glad it went in though. I'm glad what happened. So.
All right. Thanks, Leak.
All right, thank you, Leaky. We'll get Andrew in.
Questions for Andrew? Raise your hands, please. Josh Graham, you're going to be up first.
Thank you.
Is he there? Oh, there he is.
All right, Josh Graham.
Two quick things. One, or I guess this kind of bleeds together. Was there a part of you when you're in the corner and it's late in the game, you thought Roy might spend one of those timeouts?
No, because we usually, with enough time on the clock, we want to go as fast as we can to not let their defense get set. So I knew we were going to push. It's above 7 seconds we push, and usually below 7 we'll call a timeout and set a play up because that's not enough time for the most part. But there was more than 7 seconds, so we pushed it and I got a shot.
And was that the angle you thought you were going to be getting on that shot?
No, but I noticed 33, what was his name? Cross was playing G on the top side for most of the game, so I couldn't pass to him easily. And my man was overplaying me in the corner, so I knew I'd be able to drive baseline. He kind of came at the last second, which I didn't anticipate, but I felt like I had enough space to get a shot off. And I didn't really have any better options because I was kind of committed to it. Because if I were to, kick it to like Leaky or Caleb or somebody, I wouldn't have they wouldn't have had enough time to shoot. So,
Greg Barnes.
Hey, Andrew, wanted to ask you about Leaky. He didn't get the start at Georgia Tech and then bounced back with a strong game against Notre Dame, hit the game winner, and then had arguably his best game as a Tar Heel tonight. Did you see his mindset change any coming out of that Georgia Tech game?
A little bit. I think he was kind of pissed off at his play, and he definitely took it personally and changed the way he played, which is major respect to him. Like if you don't like the way that you're playing or the minutes you're getting or whatever, if you're not starting, then it's up to you to fix it. So I think he did take it personally, and this is the best stretch I've seen Leaky play in my career with him, and I'm super proud of him.
Thanks.
Royal Howell.
Hello, Andrew. Could you just speak on what is Carolina's identity? Is it just the inside-outside game, stepping up the defense? What is Carolina's identity?
Well, I hope what we played out there tonight is not our identity. We're still figuring it out, which is frustrating, being a four-year guy, knowing what we want to do, and not being able to commit to anything, whether it's offense or defense. I don't think we're playing that well or that poorly defensively, but there's still like so many little things that we can get better. And I mean, Kirsch was telling us we shot like, what was it, 29% from two, which is like ridiculous with the caliber of bigs we have. But we did shoot it well from the outside today, and I thought our guard play was decent, but not the best we can do like by a long shot. We have to get so much better if we want to make a run in the NCAA tournament, and we need to get better.
JB.
Hey, Andrew, thanks for taking out the time. You mentioned the sloppy play that you guys had. I know you guys were down by 9 at one point in the second half, and you had like 17 turnovers. But what was the key for the comeback as a whole? You talked about the final play, not calling a timeout, and you getting the game winner. But what was the key to the comeback as a whole?
We just kept fighting. That's honestly what it boils down to. We had heart and we had grit, and although we didn't play well the entire game, basically, we had enough heart to keep pushing. We knew we were right in it. Every timeout, we kept chipping, like the media timeouts, we kept chipping away at their lead, and we know we dug ourselves this hole and we had to dig ourselves out. So I think we did that really well. We showed some toughness, some resilience. Leaky hit a massive three to tie the game, and then I put it away. So we had some guts tonight.
Thank you.
Andrew Jones. We're running out of time here, but Andrew.
Okay, Andrew, the last three games you guys have hit 8 and 9 threes. You're just under 40% in that stretch. Is this more the kind of team you guys can be from the perimeter, or is this maybe just kind of a little bit of an aberration?
No, we're really good shooters. I think you put any of us in a gym with anybody in the country, like I think we can outshoot them anywhere. But this is more of what we know we can do, and it's like we don't even have everyone like shooting well. Like Caleb and RJ still aren't shooting at the clip that I know they can get to and that they are going to get to the rest of the season, because we all have confidence in them. But Leaky's been stepping up and hitting some big shots. He had 4 today. I don't think I've ever seen Leaky make 4 threes before. But yes, like we can make shots, and we're gonna do that the rest of the year. It just takes time. Like I said before, if this was my freshman year and I had the pressure that these guys had to perform like from the jump, and I was getting the minutes they were getting, it takes a lot on an 18, 19-year-old kid. And so just give them some time and they'll be fine, and we're going to be right there behind them.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to go last two, Adam and then Greg Hall, please. Gregory Hall.
Andrew, you said, when you got the ball in the corner that you were committed. I mean, was the choice made for you at that point just by the factors that you said, your man, Garrison's man? I mean, was the choice made for you where you just had to go and you had to take the shot?
Yeah, there wasn't that much time left. So I said, if my man closes out on me because Leaky was going to drive, if he commits to Leaky and kicks to me, I'm going to shoot it. But he kind of played the drive pretty well. So he went out on me. So I drove baseline because I saw the angle on cross and I knew I could get a shot. I don't know if it was the best shot we could have gotten, but I mean, it went in and we won. So that's all there is to it.
How did you stay in bounds? Because it looked really tight.
I don't know, luck, I guess.
All right, Gregory Hall, last one.
Andrew, you've been with Garrison the longest. As you kind of see, obviously down the stretch there, 2 big free throws and the turnover. But as you see him kind of struggling there, whether it's defensively, offensively, what are you communicating with him, whether during the game, on your own? What can you say to him to try to help him through this stretch here?
Well, I was just telling him during the game, like, we got you. And, like, you're that guy. You're that guy for us. Like, you do this. We know. When he stepped up to the free throw line and knocked those 2 big ones down, there's no doubt in my mind that they were both going in. But I kept just telling him, next play. And to do everything else. Okay, so your shot's not going in, so what? Be our best defender. Be our best rebounder. Be the guy who will dive on the floor for a loose ball and set the example. Like, that's when your shot's not, that goes for everybody. But I think G is the person that sets the example for our team because he's been there and he's done that. And he's been a really, really good player in this league. So we all got to follow what he's doing. So even the greats go through it sometimes.
Thank you, Andrew. Team's got to get a long flight home tonight. So
hey guys, I've got some notes. Hey, I've got some notes to holler out if you stick around for a second. You can hang up or you can listen. First of all, those are career highs for Leaky in field goals 6, 3-pointers 4, and points 16. Dayron 16 rebounds, ties the second most ever by a Carolina freshman. Baycott did it last year, but 16 ties the second most. Jamison had 20 at Virginia. And it's the first time we won back-to-back games by 2 points or less since the Kentucky and Oregon games in the 2017 NCAA tournament. We beat Kentucky by 2 and Oregon by 1 or vice versa. But that's the first time we won 2 straight games by 2 points or less since Kentucky and Oregon. All right, thanks everybody. Y'all have a good night.
Thanks, Chris. Safe travels.